For more on this situation, let's bring in Michael Pillsbury. He's Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow for China Strategy, also a Fox News contributor. Michael, how do you evaluate what the Chinese are saying here? Is this just more saber rattling for them, or is this taking it to a new level?
It's taking it to a new level. But after Pete Hegseth went on Fox and Friends and said, we're ready, we're not looking for war, but we're ready, something very good news for President Trump happened. The Chinese foreign minister took it back the next day. This is Friday. That's really good news. The Chinese don't often do that. They're often quite arrogant and proud of what they say. But this is, to me, this is very striking that 2 days later, to have the foreign minister have about a 60-minute press conference repeating over and over how he wants to cooperate with the United States. We have to have peaceful coexistence. And that's not all. There was another Chinese concession that really quite striking. Their commerce minister has said they're willing to start trade talks with Mr. Trump. Now, that took 1 year, John, in the first term to get that far. We're only like a month and a half into office, and the Chinese are already agreeing to come to the talks. That's another concession that may come out of this last 2 or 3 days. Where we haven't seen concessions yet are the fentanyl problem, where the Trump team seems to want the Chinese to announce it'll be death, or it'll be an investigation and trial and then death for those caught pushing precursors of fentanyl into Mexico and Canada. They haven't done that. They issued a white paper that did not go very far at all. In fact, it called fentanyl a flimsy excuse for the tariffs. The other concession I'm looking for, I think President Trump is too, is that they cancel or really cut back on these military exercises that are around Taiwan. Every morning, 10 to 20 Chinese naval ships, 10 to 20 jet fighters. Our own commander in the region has called this a rehearsal. It's no longer an exercise. He says they're rehearsing for invasion. We haven't seen any progress on that. But overall, this is good news for President Trump with his China strategy. It's working.
So how would you describe China and its behavior right now? Are they just a trading partner? Are they an enemy? Are they sort of neither? How would you describe it?
They're all of the above. And if you look at President Trump's own writing, he's written about China for a long time. One of my favorite books of his is in 2000, where he already sees China as a major threat. Then a second book of his in 2015 goes into more detail about how they're the cleverest, smartest negotiators in history, and it's going to take all we can do to successfully deal with them. You know, John, President Trump in his first term got that marvelous trade deal, 100 pages long, enforcement included. The Chinese did not honor it. And President Biden did not call them on it. So we're kind of back to square one in terms of the trade talks. But the Chinese are adversary, enemy, friend, trading partner, all wrapped in one. And we don't know much about them. They speak this weird language, John, with tones and no alphabet. So they're hard to understand. They're kind of a mysterious country still, I think.
Yeah, it is said that the Chinese think in centuries, while the United States thinks in 4-year presidential terms. So if they are making some of these concessions that the foreign minister alluded to, is that perhaps just a stalling tactic?
It could be. Until the talks start, we're not going to know what they're up to. The first term, it was 13 rounds of talks, 13 rounds of American delegates going to Beijing, making clear what we wanted. And then their teams coming here. Sometimes President Trump, I think very cleverly, would take the Chinese delegation into the Oval Office and invite the press in and try to encourage them to make promises right in front of the American press. But we're not going to know until this begins to play out, I don't think.
Well, the Chinese, it is said, are working toward sort of global hegemony. They believe that that is their destiny, to control everything under the heavens. Is that really their belief?
Oh, John, thank you. You are advertising my most recent book, The 100-Year Marathon, China's Strategy to Replace America. So thank you very much. You put the boost the book sales today. Thank you.
Well, if you've written about it, I didn't know that, but I'm glad to give you a little plug there, because nobody knows China better than you do. All right, Michael Pillsbury.
A free copy of the book is on its way to you, John.
I appreciate it. Thank you.